She once thought she would never tell a story like this, but some memories never fade, no matter how much you try to bury them. Some experiences carve themselves so deep inside you, they become part of who you are. Her story isn't pleasant, and it isn't light. So if you choose to stay, don't say you weren't warned, because what follows touches on family, trust, and betrayal. She grew up in a house ruled by strict order. Her father, Harrison Mendoza, believed discipline could solve anything. His words were short commands, never to be questioned. If dinner was at 7, you sat down at 7. If he told her to be home by 9, the door locked at 9. No excuses, no debate, just rules. Her mother, Sarah Harrington, was different, yet not easier, not soft, just distant. It was like she lived in another world, floating through the house like a shadow, always busy, never present. When asked something, she answered without lifting her eyes. When hugged, she was stiff, like affection was foreign to her. Her father's voice commanded. Her mother's silence ignored. Together, they raised her in a house with no warmth. There were no bedtime stories, no Sunday breakfasts, no hugs without reason. Emotions weren't welcome. Tears sparked her father's anger. Excitement drained her mother. So she learned to hide it all. She buried her feelings until she forgot how to show them. And that shaped her more than she realized. By adulthood, she craved something unnamed. Tenderness, validation, proof that she mattered. But when love isn't shown in childhood, it's hard to recognize it later. She mistook attention for care, control for protection, desire for love. And when she reached her 20s, relationships felt like a foreign language. She dated. But it always felt incomplete, like she lacked knowledge everyone else naturally had. She wondered, was she broken? Or simply unfit for closeness? Then came Omari Underwood. He was patient. He listened. He made her feel safe in ways she had never known. But safety didn't erase her doubts. It didn't silence the voice inside whispering, "You're not enough. You don't know how to love right." She wanted to change, for him, for herself. So she searched for answers the only way she knew. In the glow of a laptop at night, she studied videos, guides, anything, to teach her the closeness others seemed to grasp. Naturally, it wasn't curiosity. It was survival. She wanted to stop feeling like a failure. She wanted to finally understand, and she thought she was safe. The house was still. The door was shut, the volume low. She had checked 3 times. No one was home, but she was wrong. The sound of footsteps, the creak of a door, her father's voice, panic hit instantly, icy dread running through her. Her hands scrambled to close the screen. Too late. She turned and saw Harrison standing in the doorway, watching. Time froze. Her chest pounded. Her words died in her throat. Would he rage? Disgust? Punishment? No, he didn't shout. He didn't scold. He just stood there, staring. And somehow, that was worse. He stepped closer. She pressed against the headboard, desperate for space. "You're not in trouble," he said slowly. "But I'm surprised." Her stomach twisted. Her face burned with humiliation. She whispered, "I thought you were out." "I just returned," he replied. His eyes flicked to the laptop, then back at her. "So, care to explain?" "It's nothing," she said quickly. "Just nonsense." "Didn't seem like nothing," he answered. Her heart pounded so hard it hurt. His face wasn't angry, not irritated, just curious, and that unsettled her more. "If you wanted to learn," he said, voice calm, "why not ask?" She blinked. Ask? As if it was simple, a laugh slipped out, flat, bitter. "Who was I supposed to ask?" "Someone you trust," he replied. That word, trust, felt foreign on her tongue. She hesitated, then confessed softly, "I've never been good at this, at closeness, at knowing what to do, and I don't want to stay that way." He nodded slowly, studying her. "And did you learn anything?" "Not enough," she admitted. Silence stretched, then his voice lowered. "Maybe I can help." Her breath caught. The room shifted, or maybe it was just her. His tone was steady. Casual, like it was nothing unusual, but it was. It was wrong. Yet she stayed, rooted, unable to move. The air thickened. Her father leaned back, one arm on the headboard, fingers tapping casually, his voice calm, almost. Too calm. I think people like certain things, he said, things the screen can't teach. Her stomach tightened. He was testing her. She could have laughed, changed the subject, stood up, walked out. But she didn't. She stayed, and before she could stop herself, her voice slipped out. You think you could teach me? His gaze never moved. Nothing teaches like experience, he said. Her breath caught. The room shrank. Heat rose. Walls seemed to close in. Then his words again. Quieter this time. I could show you. Her heart raced. Her throat closed. Every part of her screamed to leave. But she stayed. Frozen. Later, she would call it shock or confusion. But in that moment, she whispered, This feels wrong. His eyes stayed locked on hers. Why? The word landed cold, because she shouldn't have to explain. Because she should have already left, but she didn't. I don't know, she muttered. You don't need to be nervous, he said. I'm not, she replied too fast, but she was, terrified. Then suddenly, he leaned back. All right, he said simply. No protest, no insistence. And somehow, that made it worse. Because the thought still lingered in the air. And she knew deep inside. This wasn't over. Secrets are heavy. They don't disappear. They whisper in the quiet. And soon, she would discover another one. It began with a buzz, a phone lighting up on the dresser, her father's phone, the name on the screen, Esme Stein, and 5 words that chilled her. Same place tonight. I miss you. Her chest tightened. She didn't need more. She knew what it meant. Her hands turned, cold. Her breath caught. Her father wasn't just strict, he was unfaithful. That night she said nothing. The next day, still nothing, but she started. Watching, the way his hand hovered over his phone, the way he slipped out at night, the way his wedding ring appeared and disappeared. Had her mother always known? Or had she, like her, been blind? Amari noticed first. You've been quiet, he said softly. Is everything okay? She wanted to tell him, she wanted to let the weight fall, but the words stuck. Yeah, just tired, she lied. He didn't believe. Her, she could see it in his eyes, but he didn't press, and that made the silence heavier. Days passed. Her father barely met her gaze. Did he know she had seen? Or did he not care? Her thoughts turned to her mother, the woman who kept a house running while love slowly died, and she realized she was following the same path, trying to fix what couldn't be fixed. One evening, she finally asked, was it worth it? Her father looked up, confused. Was what worth it? The lies. The betrayal. His jaw tightened. I don't know what you think you saw. I saw enough, she cut in. I saw the messages. I know. Silence. Then a heavy sigh. It's not that simple, he muttered. Yes, it is, she snapped. You had a family. A life. And you threw it away. His face darkened. You don't understand, she laughed bitterly. You're right. I don't. Because I could never betray someone I loved. For the first time, guilt flickered across his face, but guilt doesn't undo damage. I never meant to hurt anyone, he whispered. But you did, she said, flatly, and nothing else mattered. That night she told him she needed space. I can't be around you right now. He didn't argue, and that hurt more than anything, because maybe he knew he couldn't fix it. Soon after, she ended things with Omari, not because she didn't care, but because she realized she didn't know who she really was. She had spent too long trying to be what others wanted, trying to learn love from the outside, and without ever asking herself what she needed. So she left. She found her own place. For the first time, she lived for herself. Her parents' marriage didn't survive. Maybe it had ended long before. Her father's affair was just the final crack. Her mother didn't rage, didn't cry. She just signed the papers, packed her things, and left. Maybe that was her strength. People think betrayal is just an act, but it's more. It rewrites you. It makes you question love. It makes you question yourself. She once thought love meant proving you were enough. Now she knew Love means protecting yourself, knowing when to walk away, and starting over, no matter how much it hurts. So now she asks you, if you were her, what would you have done? Would you confront him? Would you keep the secret? Or would you walk away? Tell her in the comments. And if her story stayed with you, like, share, and subscribe. Because betrayal doesn't just break trust, it breaks you. And the hardest part is learning how to heal.